Hello and welcome to this week's blockchain news. This week we're on the discussion about what Oracle are doing, a little bit what the blockchain market's doing. We're also looking at what the German market is doing from a banking point of view, and then we'll talk a little bit about the other European initiatives that are going on at the moment. So, Akeem.
Yeah, so first up, indeed, welcome back. It's good to be back. We have, first up, we have the agriculture business really looking at blockchain and looking at how they can facilitate certain processes within their supply chain.
Yeah.
And it's resulted in four of the biggest businesses in the agriculture sector to come together, join forces and look at how they can implement blockchain and AI for their shipping purposes. So they're looking at making things a lot more smoother from a contract perspective, invoice perspective, and payments perspective. So it's quite interesting to see these big, huge multinationals really humbling themselves and coming together for the good of the technology, essentially.
It's quite interesting when you talk about that because CNBC this week have put a report out on the demand for blockchain has grown by 400% from the end of 2017. On average, the average earnings now have soared from 100 to around about $150,000 to $170,000 per person. Okay, the demand's been driven by people like IBM, Facebook, Amazon. Okay, so large global players, as you've been saying, they're driving demand forward within the blockchain market. Looking at architects, engineers, full stack engineers, looking at stuff like Java, JavaScript, Go, Solidity, and Python. And what was quite interesting, they did around about 420,000 interviews. They took this information from across 13 global cities, with London, San Fran, and New York being the highest demand for the blockchain market. So, it is really taking off moment from there.
Yeah, I mean, the blockchain is absolutely huge. These big companies mentioned, and next we have another big company, Oracle. Oracle also looking at blockchain, so it seems to be coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
Oracle looking at how they can improve traceability and transparency within their software. So they've launched a blockchain as a service software that will help essentially companies track their supply chain. So they've gone into real detail as to how clients of theirs can track temperature control of certain shipments, how they can track products containment of certain shipments. So they've gone into real detail in trying to bring value to the end customer through blockchain's technology.
It's quite interesting, that sort of bringing value. It's looking at sort of a lot of people doing blockchain projects that are now sort of coming out at the end of their trial state period.
Yeah.
And the German central bank are doing exactly the same. They've had positive results of blockchain trials that they've been running. So Deutsche Bundesbank and Deutsche Börse have been backing sort of applications on the blockchain technology in the settlement area, and they're now seeing the trials in Hyperledger Fabric and digital asset platforms are showing really positive growth and realistic use in the financial market infrastructure. They did say there was some sort of potential disadvantage of DLT based solutions, but in the main it was a really positive report that came out of moving blockchain forward. So it really, they're getting towards the end of the project, where some companies are still now getting into it, such as Oracle. So a lot going on.
Every end, absolutely. And last up, finally, this week, I have Ripple, Ripple's XRP, which had an increase in Q3, which is not expected, of course, given how the crypto market has been. So it's moved from $7 million or so dollars in sales last quarter to now over 163 million in this quarter just gone. So some improvements.
It is. And also with the growth of this marketplace, obviously people need to be skilled on these things. And we reported a couple of months ago about the top 10 universities are now running blockchain application courses. We talked about Malta, they're now doing that. Gibraltar have now jumped on that bandwagon as well. They've launched a blockchain relative courses through the University of Gibraltar, looking again at things such as smart contracts, DLT, coding, and basically they're going to put professional certifications out for people who've passed those courses. So now the educational market are really understanding that this is here for a long time, and so they're starting to engage that. So that's this week's blockchain news. Thank you very much.
See you next week.